this is Studio 7 on YouTube West. And I got my Western hat on today because we're going to be talking about John Wayne. But oddly enough, nope, doesn't count because we're not talking about a Western. That's right. We're going to talk about a comedy. Actually, we're going to talk about a comedy drama with John Wayne. Now, I mentioned this film in a movie that I did for my channel called The Other Films of John Wayne, which means if you haven't seen it, you should see it because John Wayne was known for doing westerns. John Wayne was known for doing war movies. But John Wayne, in this movie, is doing something that is far beyond his character. And it's a 1962 movie, so it's an older movie. It's over 60 years old, right? And it's called Hatari. And Hatari is Swahili for danger. That's how they bill it. It's a 1962 American adventure romantic comedy. Did you hear me? We got a lot to talk about. American adventure, romantic, comedy, and where are we going to set it? Africa. Right, we're going to talk about animals, Africa, we're going to talk about native tribes people, we're going to talk about elephants, and we're going to talk about two particular girls in this movie. But we're going to get to the cast. Now, the main cast itself of Hatari is John Wayne, Krüger, Elsa Martinelli, Red Buttons, Michelle Girardin, and then there's some supporting people in there that are incredible. But what's really great about this movie is everything that comes together to make Hatari the adventure film that you want to see. Now, it runs 157 minutes. This movie is a commitment to understanding a plot. And that plot is that John Wayne and various individuals that he has around him have to capture groups of animals and get them ready to be shipped to zoos throughout the world. Now, that may not be PC in 2020, but it was certainly fun and games in 1962. And when you're going to do something like that, what you want is a lot of good backing. And when it came to a John Wayne movie, you didn't need 7 production companies to get it done. 1, Paramount Pictures. But they said, the only way we're going to do this movie, the only way, is if you bring Howard Hawks back and you get him to direct it. So they have Howard Hawks directing it. And what's really interesting is that there have been times, like when John Huston does The African Queen and White Hunter, Black Heart, Clint Eastwood movie, right, which is about that same era, that's where this era of the John Wayne movie is set in. But having John Wayne just isn't good enough. But what we're going to need to do is give him some comic relief. And we're going to give him that in Red Buttons, who's going to be known as Pockets in this movie. And Pockets is your everything guy. And then think of the enemy below. And Krüger is going to play a ex-race car driving guy that's also a hunter, but we don't really ever see him kill anything. All they do is capture things. But in order to capture a rhino, you've got to drive like really fast and get a noose around its neck. Or at least that's how they do it in the movies. Now, I can't tell you that the other way to do it is to use a canyon or a box setup and drive them all in there and then literally walk in and throw the nooses over their necks. But that wouldn't be any fun at all. So you take that, you take an incredible screenplay by Leigh Brackett, and then you take music by Henry Mancini, and everybody's going, who's that? Okay, Pink Panther. That's the best thing that I can do for you kids out there watching this by accident. But your older folks are going to remember Henry Mancini for hundreds and hundreds of songs that you've heard in movies. So you've got great music, you've got incredible production, you've got studio backing, you've got lead actors with quality, and then we're going to take 2 things. We're going to take Michelle Girardin, and we're going to take Elsa Martinelli. Now, this is what we did in the 60s is that we tried to bring the best eye candy we could possibly find. Elsa Martinelli, Michelle Girardin. Now, Michelle Girardin is not known. She's only done like 4 movies at this point, and her career does not end up well. She ends up an alcoholic suicide. Sorry about that. And it's a total shame. Elsa Martinelli, on the other hand, becomes one of the most skin-friendly actresses in Hollywood all the way up into the mid-1970s. And she's such a great actress. So you're really expecting a lot out of these two, and what you get is great acting, wonderful interconnections in the romantic department between these two with their various love interests, and they're beautiful. And you gotta say it for 1962, they're just freaking gorgeous. But if you wanted one of those total skin movies that you see from the late 80s, 90s, and 2000, you're not going to get it because this is 1962, and we had standards then. So it's a really bit of a different story. Now, I might try, pause. This is good stuff. This is Hatari. It's great stuff. It's John Wayne. It's action. It's romance. It's definitely comedy. It's like you've never seen him before if all you've seen are Westerns. And there are tons of these movies out there. And that's what my other film I talked about, some of the other films that John Wayne tells you about, things like Trouble Along the Way, things like North to Alaska, Donovan's Reef, Island in the Sky. These are all, and the original Airplane movie, that's right, The High and the Mighty, is John Wayne. You just can't go wrong because he's such a good actor. And because this movie has Howard Hawks, and because this movie has all these pieces and all these wonderful stars that I've listed on here, and it's done so well, it is a 7 out of 7 production on Studio 7. For Studio 7, I'm Bob West on YouTube West. Thank you very much.